When we think of dimensions, you probably think of some space-time continuum like blasting off and space ripping open and portals opening up to other worlds. At least that's what Hollywood has kind of projected to be of what dimensions actually look like. And it can be confusing when we hear people talk about 3D reality to 5D reality and shifting, and you're just like, how are you shifting when you're still right here? Like, you just expect to be in another world, right? No. Well, in this video, I'm going to break down what it means to shift dimensions, how it feels to shift dimensions, and what it looks like going from your 3D reality to the 5D, what Earth is shifting towards. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I'm a Reiki master and psychic development teacher and a transformation coach. Welcome to another episode of Conscious Coffee Talks. Welcome to the Good Vibe Tribe. This is where I like to expand people's consciousness and have a lovely conversation with you guys over a cup of coffee. So with that being said, let's dive into some dimensions today. So if you clicked on this video, you're probably a little confused on what it means to go from your 3D self to 5D, or you've heard online or in a spiritual community or just science, I don't know what you want to call it. It's kind of the big talk nowadays of our world shifting from 3D consciousness to 5D consciousness. And if you're anything like me, I used to think that dimensions were some sci-fi, like rip open a hole in space-time continuum and you'd walk through it and you'd be in like an alternate universe or something like that. That's not exactly how it works, guys. So to actually explain what dimensions are, guys, everything in our universe is energy and consciousness. Essentially, consciousness is energy. Consciousness is thought. It is awareness. It is your conscious state. You're thinking yourself into existence. Energy is just information. It is information and it all vibrates at different frequencies. So in the 3D, it actually is a lower level vibration of energy, which creates matter, including your body, which is a physical manifestation of your energy, which is your soul. So you can think of life in the 3D like a video game. It is a hologram. So you being the main character are actually creating your reality around you in this like little vortex thing. It feels like an energy vortex when you're deep in meditation. So what happens is your thoughts and your emotions actually create the world around you. Your conscious awareness combined with the energy actually collapses in on itself, and the energy bursts through the spiritual realm to the physical realm, creating matter. It is a denser version of energy, right? So you, having the mind of God, which is the power of your intention, actually create your hologram this way, because you're the one dictating this information, right? So it's the way that you think and you feel. And to change your reality, your picture of the world, you have to think greater than you feel. Otherwise, your subconscious will be the one running the show here. So your world is like a video game, and when you expand consciousness, you actually level up. Expanding your consciousness and your awareness is actually the thing that is able to shift you from the 3D to the 5D. So you can think of physical reality as 3D, and then shifting to the 5D, you are just expanding your consciousness of what is actually already existing. Dimensions are like bands, right? So if everything in our universe is energy, including you, you're like a drop of water. So me, I am a drop of water in this sea of energy all around me. It really, whenever you break it down, everything is like particles and light waves basically flowing everywhere, right? Your consciousness actually is what creates the hologram of matter, right? So remember that. So you, this body, are like a radio. And if you can think of it like a radio and a radio station, because when you turn a radio on, it picks up a signal, right? And you can change the signal by the dial on the radio station. So you are like a radio in the middle of all these waves, right? Because Radios have to pick up radio waves, right? They are energy as well too. But you are like an advanced radio. So you can change your station, which is your conscious awareness, your thought. The higher the thought, the more conscious expansion. So you can change the station and tap into different dimensions. Now, these different dimensions are like bands. I want you to think of them like bands of like energy, right? They are actually layered on top of one another. They're not anywhere else, guys. Everything is existing right here, right now. So they are just like interfolded almost into one another is what it really kind of looks like. So when we tap into higher dimensions, we are expanding our consciousness and we lose more of our ego. We actually become aware of what reality is, what the world actually is, and our way of thinking actually changes, and so our vibration changes. So the higher the dimension, which I think that there are 12 of them, which you are connected to all the time because we're all streaming from the same source, right? These 12 dimensions are tied into your chakras. So when you tap into these dimensions, you're actually just shedding parts of your ego. You are losing those lower level frequencies associated with the 3D reality, which is a more of a human existence. It's the physical. So I look at it kind of like the lower 3 chakras, which are the human chakras. They are associated with like your foundation, money, job, relationships, the relationship you have with yourself, you know, your body, physical, materialistic things and other humans. All of that really gets dropped when you elevate in consciousness because you no longer see yourself as the ego. The ego is shedding itself and it's shedding all of those lower level frequencies or emotions that you've been holding on to. The fear. The higher you go in dimensions or raise your vibration, the more fear drops off and the more that you realize that all the thoughts you were holding about yourself, all these ideas that you had about yourself start to fall away and you actually just start to become consciousness. You just start to become awareness the higher that you go in the dimensions. So the 5th dimension is actually the bridge between the lower 3D and the higher conscious expansionness. So really, I think the 12th is like enlightenment. I don't know how they can count how many dimensions that there are, but I'm sure there is infinite amount because we are limitless. So let's go over some signs that you have shifted from 3D to 5D. And I'll give a little bit of my experience on this as well too, so you can better feel into it. One of the major signs is you physically feel lighter. Your body feels lighter and you feel better. Your mood feels lighter. Things have lifted for you. And this is because you are shedding limiting beliefs. You are shedding fear. You are losing the idea or the thought that is you, which is the ego. So you can think of like the ego being built with certain beliefs that you hold about yourself. It's the idea that is you, and you've created this character that you're playing out here, right? You think of yourself as like a happy person or a shy person or an outgoing person, or you remember that, oh, I have this job and I have these interests or I have these fears. All of those things start to actually go away and you lose the identity. You just start to become consciousness. And when you're losing the lower level frequencies like the fear, the limiting beliefs, some of the expectations that you hold on yourselves or that you had in life, all those things start to fall away and you become light. You just start to realize that all those things were energy that you were holding on to. Your intention was holding on to them and they were being stored in the body. So you literally feel lighter and less pain in your body, which also means emotionally you feel amazing. You feel joy, bliss, you are elevated. It feels amazing to be back in touch with your soul, because that is essentially what is happening. When you're shedding these lower level frequencies, more of your soul is actually able to enter into your body, and you start remembering who it is that you actually are. And that's what they mean when people say, remember who you are. When you lose all these things, the ego, the idea that is you, and you actually start seeing reality for what it is and remembering, your soul reminds you of who you are. And then you're like, oh, I took life too seriously. I'm supposed to feel this good. The next sign that you've shifted is you are present. This happens when you shift from 3D to 5D, is you are present. You are in the flow state. There is no fear around you. You are just isness. It just feels like things are. And from this, which is my next point, is you start to actually see how things are happening for you. You view things from a higher perspective. So instead of seeing things through our perception of fear, so when we are in the physical, we see things get filtered through our perception by a lens of fear. When there is no fear, you actually see things for what they are from a logical stance. You're actually able to see how things are happening for you and your evolution and how they grow you. So things no longer feel challenging. They feel more of in alignment of obstacles become opportunities. You see something that you're meant to overcome, or you see something that is going to then evolve you into a higher being, which is truly what we came here to do, is expand our consciousness, understand ourselves through the act of creation and conscious expansion. So then you are able to just flow through life, taking paths and opportunities as they are presented to you and not really feeling any blocks around it, because you see how it's all happening for you. So you just keep moving with life. So there is no resistance being held around anything. And you see all, which brings me to my next point, the synchronicities. So if you can understand how everything is happening for you, you see that there is a divine synchronicity literally in everything. So synchronicity is a combination of the mind or the mental and your physical reality. It actually means something to you, and you see the deeper or divine aspect in the physical. So it's a sign, a symbol. So that's what I mean by synchronicities. It's communication that you're actually able to understand. It means something to you, and you move forward with that communication. You process it. It's not like second guessing yourself of, oh, is that a sign or is that not a sign? You know when you see a sign, and you just move with it and you go with it and you trust it. And ultimately you realize you're the one sending you these signs. You realize everything is you, which brings me to my next point, is the divine oneness, the unity consciousness. You are no longer separate from anybody or anything else, even physical reality. It is all still you. It's just vibrating at different frequencies. So like I said before, guys, this is all energy, including you, all vibrating at different levels of frequency. So you can think of it like this is the mind of God. Everything in this universe is the mind of God, which includes you. So that makes you a part of this orchestra, right? This symphony of existence. You just vibrate at a different frequency and have a unique frequency based upon your individual experience here as a human. You hold a certain level of vibration in this body, which makes you a unique song. You can think of like different emotions, different thoughts. All of them have different frequencies associated to them. So the ego is created by a bunch of different thoughts, meaning a bunch of different vibrations. So you hold on to a certain set of vibrations most of the time because you're thinking yourself into existence, the idea of who you are. So you're very familiar with that vibration in the body. So that's what makes us feel separate. Besides the fact that we each have individual bodies, so we can identify more with our bodies in the 3D rather than the 5D. Your intention actually gets to choose your ego, even though it doesn't really feel like it. We do get to choose our ego, and you can change who you are. So that's where the separation comes in with the 3D. But when you zoom out and look at it as a 5D, energy is just everywhere, and this body is a drop of water in a sea of energy, and your intention is just pulling in the frequencies. Your body is in your soul. Your soul is not in your body. So let me describe that again. The body is in this sea of energy, which is your soul, all vibrating at different frequencies, right? It's like a scale in that, or the dimensions, and you're pulling in all these energies into the body. But ultimately, it's all one consciousness. Everybody is doing the same thing, which means we are all the same being doing the same thing, just having different experiences zoomed in at a person, at a body. You insert your name here's experience, journey, and the free will of choice to get to decide what you want to do, what you want to spin in the body, right? What you want your life to look like in this existence, what you want to learn, what you want to create. But ultimately, it's all the same consciousness. So when you zoom out, there is no separation. You lose that identification with the body, with the thought that is you, with the ego. You zoom out and you start seeing yourself in everything and everyone. So essentially, we are all the same consciousness playing a game with itself in this reality. When you hit the 5th dimension, you actually feel this. It's not just information that you know, you actually feel it internally. So guys, kind of bringing you to my next part of this video, describing what it feels like to be in the 5D. Most of you watching this probably already know, and each person is probably going to have their own unique experience, just like life. But for myself, when I have reached 5D, I felt like a vortex of energy around me, and this was in meditation, guys. I should point this out. To reach 5D, and you can do it in your daily life too, just through breath work or just the practice of getting there over and over in meditation and reestablishing pathways in the mind, to constantly think this way and not be stuck in the lower level ways of thinking. So what it actually feels like physically in meditation is you feel lighter. I feel like a little vortex of energy around me. Things kind of shift. Physical reality almost fades away. There's a little bit of that left, but life feels very fake. It feels very, very fake. It's like it's too good to be true almost, that this existence is just the idea. It's an idea is what it feels like. It's not real. So once you kind of realize this, and then you kind of see how you are creating it all, you lose the ego and you just become consciousness. Now there's still a little bit, I say a little bit, I've lost my ego before, and I just am conscious awareness, and it feels like you are in everything. Like you literally are in everything. And you look at other people and you see yourself reflected in them. You see how reality is just a dream. That's truly what it feels like. And you feel light, you know, and that isn't probably an extreme 5D. It might be even above. I'm pretty sure I've gone above to where I've come face to face with the creator, where there was no question about it, but it was in here. But you feel, whenever I am like in my day-to-day life and I get back to this point of being, either by breath work or by reminding myself of who I am, because I have little sayings that I say in my head that kind of take me back to that place. And you just feel bliss and joy, and almost like it's funny. Like, this is just like, oh my God, I took life way too seriously. Like, what are we doing here? You know, guys, we're all playing a game with one another. And it just like, it's almost like your soul almost jokes with you. And it's like, haha, we forgot. You forgot, haha, funny, you know. All right, let's get back to doing what we were doing. So it's kind of like, and you just sit with it sometimes. Sometimes you just sit with your heart center and you just feel your soul being brought into the like body, or you feel like the merging between your physical body and your soul coming in. And it is just amazing. It's overwhelming. It's when spirit touches you, you are never the same ever again. You cannot be. Your brain has felt this love. Your brain has felt new states of ecstasy, of love, of an experience. And so it develops neuroplasticity pathways around that. And you will be forever altered by that in your perception of life. So the more you merge yourself with spirit, the more that you actually live a spirit-filled life. That is the best way that I can describe it. I know that there's more that I'm not describing right now because I've had a lot of experience with this, but it is just, we are amazing. Like, everybody needs to feel that. Like, everybody needs to feel their true essence of spirit coming through. It is the most beautiful thing that words do not even describe it. It has to be felt. But it is possible for every single person to get to this point. And I truly think the greatest thing is, guys, is you're going to always be experiencing new points beyond it, right? You're going to be experiencing greater and more elevated states of love, because I truly feel like there's no cap to it. There's no cap to like, oh, this is God right here, right there. That's the level of love that we are. Like, I don't feel like there's going to be a cap. And that just shocks the crap out of me, because I've felt such elated states of love that I've been taken to my knees. That it feels like a burn, like your body is on fire with healing energy. Like, the love is literally like a flame. That is the best way that I can describe it. Anyway, we're kind of getting off topic here. Not really off topic, but we're going down like another rabbit hole of story time. I'll have to share the experience that I've had with this. But the most important thing to note, guys, when we talk about the 3D and the 5D is it all starts with you. Literally, it all starts with you. And we kind of touched on this in my timeline video of shifting timelines, and I'll link that down below, of different earths. When people talk about shifting to different earths, and there's multiple different earths, it's all you. You don't go anywhere, guys. Remember, a video game, the hologram is created around us. You just shift to that reality that already exists, because it's a thought, right? You've elevated your your vibration, your consciousness, so therefore your reality is going to match that, and it will be reflected in everything you do. All the actions you take and everything you see in the world will reflect this, right? You won't see somebody who acts out of spite or jealousy and does something to try and hurt you. You won't see that or take it personally. You will actually just see how it's an energy on the inside of a person trying to be expressed because of an emotion, a lower level way of thinking, right? It's just what they had to do in the moment for the soul to relieve itself of this energy, so they had to act. And you, unfortunately, wore the repercussion of that. I say unfortunately, but then it teaches you something. It teaches you forgiveness, right? So you start seeing things as learning instead of pointing blame or victim. It starts with you, and you can shift to the 5D at any time you want, guys, and beyond. At any time, we can rejoin spirit at any point in our life, and that is the most beautiful thing. It's just our intention. We have to want to do it. We have to want to work with spirit every day. We want to live a life with spirit in it, right? And it's easy to forget in the 3D. And that is where the lessons come in. The faith that life will always test you is you will constantly be shifting from 3D to 5D. It's not just like, poop, you're in 5D and you stay there. We are human, and so we are multidimensional. So we are everything. We are everything in a body. We are the light and we are the dark. And we have those dark parts of us because it helps us see the light, right? So we need that, right? This is the part of the deal of the 3D is you need those lower level frequencies. And they're not bad. They're not bad at all. They're actually good because they help us realize what we are not. So it all starts with you, not somebody else. Yes, we do want we want our world to all think this way, guys. We want everybody to think this way because we want human consciousness to evolve. We want better lives for everybody. We want to dissipate fear in our world. But essentially, you can do that just by your thought alone. You won't ever see fear. All the fear will kind of fall out of your reality. I'll let that soak in. But ultimately, that is what the 3D dimension is and what the 5D is. So anyways, guys, I hope this video enlightened you. I hope that it made some sense. It was kind of a higher level. I don't want to say higher level. I don't even know what it was. It's just what my understanding of 3D reality and 5D is. And some signs that you can physically know that you have shifted, and then, you know, thought patterns that allow you to know that when you've shifted. So if you like this video, guys, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a like and a thumbs up. Give my channel a subscribe. It helps me build my good vibe tribe and connect more with you lovely souls, because, guys, the more that you surround yourself with like-minded people, with people who have the same vibration, you develop communities around it. Guys, it's so powerful. It is so powerful, and this is how we change ourselves and we change our world, right? So it helps you stay sucked into this little vortex of reality that is high vibe, that I've trying to make my channel a little vortex of spirit. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough. I'm sending you all of my light and all my love. We'll see ya.